Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 6. Taehyung sighed, smiled softly to himself as he wandered driveway through exhausted, weighted heavily. The dull ache in his leg made him regret declining offer for a lift, but deep down he knew why he had refused. He didn't want to seem sick. He wanted to prove to himself and everyone else that he could handle things on his own, that he was capable, that he wasn't a burden. With a quiet sigh, Taehyung unlocked the door and stepped inside. The warmth of the house instantly soothing the cold that had settled in his bones. Before he could take another step, Scarlett stood in front of him, biting her lips anxiously. "Scarlett, how did it go?" she asked, her voice lush with hope. "Then it went well," he answered, offering her a smile. He wanted to be confident about it, but doubt still lingered. If he wasn't good enough, what if he didn't get this job? What if Scarlett, "So you have got the job?" Scarlett asked, her eyes lighting up with anticipation. "Taehyung, I have just had an interview. There is no guarantee I will get it," he explained, forcing himself to remain realistic. He had learned not to get his hopes up too high. "Anyways, where is Dae-ho?" Scarlett, "He is playing in living room. He has just been fed and changed," Scarlett informed him kindly, sensing the tension in his shoulder. Thanks, he murmured before living room. His heart swelled at the sight. 6-month-old son, Taehyung. "Hey buddy," he quit, crushing down beside playpen, his exhaustion melting away when Dae-ho's tiny face lighted up at his voice. The baby bubbled excitedly in his chubby arms in delight. "Taehyung, guess what, buddy? Might get a new job. Daddy might get a new job," he whispered, brushing his fingers through his soft hair. The baby continued stacking his blocks in the neat line, awake to the storm of emotions swelling into his chest. "That means we can have an entire apartment to ourselves. A real home, just him and Dae-ho, no one others, no more feeling like an income." His son let him a small bunny, reaching up hands without hesitation. Taehyung lifted him up his lap, holding him close. The warmth of Dae-ho's little body against his own grounded him, reminding him of why he was doing all this. When he felt Dae-ho's head rest heavily against his shoulder, Taehyung knew it was time for a nap. Carefully, he placed the baby in his newly installed cot in the living room, making sure to tuck him in snugly. He reached for Dae-ho's stuffed bunny, it beside him, watching as his tiny fingers instinctively crawled around his soft toy. The soft toy down, Taehyung pressed a lingering kiss to his forehead. "Taehyung, I wouldn't fail you again," he whispered, a silent promise then burned his chest. After double-checking that Dae-ho was warm enough, Taehyung finally turned towards the kitchen. The moment he stepped inside, Kwan's voice greeted him. "Kwan, how did the interview go?" he asked, filled with the usual brotherly tone. "It went well. Hopefully we will only for a couple more months before we are out of your way," Taehyung said, trying not to sound too desperate. "Kwan, how many times do I have to tell you? You are both welcome here. I will not kick you out," Kwan said firmly, placing a comforting hand on Taehyung's shoulder. "I have already made that mistake." Taehyung swelled Thickly, he didn't like to dwell on the past, but he knew what Kwan meant. Kwan, don't worry about it, okay? You are interview. All you can do now is wait. When are your job? He asked, changing the subject. Then I am doing it on Wednesday, he admitted, a hand through his hair. I can't deal with dogs, empty promises anymore. Con, good. How about you relax for a while? We have got theirs. Taehyung nodded, but bravely took a step before his phone vibrated. Taking it out of his pocket, he smiled, tucked it at his lips when he saw Jungkook's name on the screen. Without hesitation, he answered them. Hi, he greeted as he walked up the stairs. Jungkook, hey, how did the interview? Taehyung explained everything and Jungkook attentively. Jungkook, what? They sound hopeful, I'm sure. He said, confidence radiating through his voice. Taehyung exhaled softly. How was Jungkook always so sure about things? Taehyung, thanks, I wish I was that sure. How is your life? Did you get the result of your test? Jungkook, I passed. I got an A. Taehyung, that's great. Wait, then why do you sound upset? There was a pause. Jungkook, my parents are annoyed. What, you got an A and they are annoyed? What do you clenched his jaw, his grip tightening around his phone. Thank you didn't fail. Your parents being harsh, you passed. That's all the matter. With what they said, I bet you did better than most in your. Let them complain. Jungkook clenched dryly. Jungkook, they are not that bad, not normally. Anyways, my dad just had a bad day. He was interviewing people. He said there was only two. He was employing out of 20. Then why are they lucky? Then Jungkook, because they wouldn't have to pay for universities. Taehyung says, wouldn't Taehyung really? Does he know how much that will cost? Jungkook, it's expensive, but it clearly works. Taehyung, so he doesn't have to spend money on them. Good enough. Jungkook gently. Taehyung frowned. I don't know how to feel about it. Is he not willing? People learn. Jungkook, yeah, but he is putting his name on. He can't have someone with no talent representing him. Taehyung sighed. Taehyung, still, it just seems harsh to me. They continued talking for hours. The warmth in Jungkook's voice, the way he teased and reassured him, it made Taehyung feel lighter, like maybe things wasn't so bad. When Kwan finally called him down for dinner, he realized how much time has passed. Taehyung, yeah, see you later. Good night, Jungkook. Good night. Taehyung swear he heard sadness in his voice. Dinner was filled with usual conversation, and after Taehyung put Dae-ho to bed, showered and settled into his room. As he drifted off to sleep, his mind was full of memories and thoughts of Jungkook. He couldn't help but smile. The second Taehyung woke up, his stomach was in knots. Wednesday had come too quickly for his liking. Anxiety weighed heavy on his chest, making it hard to breathe properly. Taehyung rolled onto his side, staring at his bedside table. 8:30 a.m. His heart sank. A day had finally begun. With a sigh, Taehyung himself to sit up, causing the blanket to slide down to his waist. The cold morning air brushed against his skin, sending a shiver down his spine. He ran a tired hand through his messy brown locks before swinging his legs over the side of the bed, his feet meeting the icy wooden floor. Dragging himself towards the small wardrobe, Taehyung grabbed a plain black shirt and pulled it over his head. His mind was clouded with the thought of him today quitting his job, facing down and uncertainty that followed. Despite his own turmoil, a small smile spread across Taehyung's lips as he tiptoed into the nursery. The sight of his 6-month-old son sleeping peacefully in the crib was enough to make his chest ache with overwhelming love. Taehyung whispering, "You are my strength, buddy." He leaned against the crib for a moment, watching the slow rise and fall of Dae-ho's tiny chest. The baby's delicate fingers were curled around his stubborn bunny, his little lips slightly parted. Taehyung softly, "I didn't realize how little you started sleeping through the night." He reached gently, brushed Dae-ho's dark hair away from his face before stepping out of the nursery, closing the door behind with practice easy. Downstairs, the aroma of fresh coffee filled the air. Kwan cheerfully, "Morning, Taehyung." Taehyung gave him a small smile as he poured some orange juice into the glass and took a quick sip. His throat dry from the restless night. Taehyung mumbling, "Morning." Kwan eyeing him, "Did you have a good night?" Taehyung let out a breathy crunch as he sat down, rubbing his temple. Dae-ho didn't wake up, but I feel then I did when he wake up every hour. Kwan giggled, grinning. "That's the magic of parenthood." Taehyung smiled weakly before hesitating for a moment, fingers fizzing with the hem of his shirt. "Kwan, would you mind driving me to Dae-ho to town today? He has a doctor appointment and I am going to quit while I am there." Kwan nodded. "Sure, kid. Have you considered learning the drive?" Taehyung blinked at the sudden question, looking up at Kwan with a puzzled expression. "Taehyung, I have never really." Took a deep sip of coffee, watching Taehyung close smoke tucked as his lips. "Kwan, how about this? If you get next college assignment, I will pay for your driving lessons." Eyes bitten in shock, his grip tightened around the glass. And Taehyung in disbelief, "You are serious?" Kwan clenching, "Of course I am. So do you agree?" Taehyung hesitated for a second before nodding. Taehyung, "All right. No pressure, right?" "Thanks, Kwan." "Kwan, don't thank me yet, kid. You still have to get the grant." Clenched left Taehyung's lips, but the warmth in his chest was undeniable. It was a small gesture like this that reminded him he was alone. He had people who cared about him, and Dae-ho's appointment is at 12. We should be done in 45 minutes. As long as Kwan having is he might you are a good Taehyung. Of course he wouldn't want to let you. Taehyung ran a hand through his hair, the anxiety back in. Taehyung, "I just hope he doesn't make there harder than it needed to be." Leaving his glass on the counter, Taehyung stood up. "Taehyung, I'm going to check on Dae-ho." Walking into the nursery, Taehyung couldn't help but smile as Dae-ho began to stir. The baby blinked sleepily up at his father, his chubby hands reaching out. Taehyung softly, "Hey, buddy." Opened Dae-ho into his arm. Taehyung closed, swaying slightly. Taehyung gently, "Here, did you have a good sleep. A sleepy Ko left Dae-ho's lips as he nuzzled onto his father's chest. Taehyung, guess what? We are going to the doctor's today. You are having a checkup. Dae-ho let out a soft whimper, creeping onto Taehyung's heart. Taehyung soothingly, you don't have to worry, baby. I will be. Oh, it will be over soon, okay? After changing Dae-ho, Taehyung carried him downstairs. Taehyung, I wished I had your confidence. A warmth settled in Taehyung's chest, no matter how. Talking to Jungkook always made things better. He glanced 9 a.m. There was still a long day ahead. With one last glance, Taehyung made a silent promise to himself. Taehyung whispering, no matter what happens today, I wouldn't let anything came between us, buddy. I wouldn't fail you. And with that, he braced himself for what was to come. Are you nervous? Kwan questioned. Pulling onto the car park, Taehyung let out a sicky breath, fingers trembling slightly as he undid the seatbelt. Honestly, yes, I know I said this earlier, but I really don't want any. Glance at him, his expression. It will be okay, he said. Do you want to with us to Dae-ho's appointment, or do you want to get it over with? Taehyung didn't even hesitate. I will come with you. A small smile flickered on his lips, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. After Taehyung carefully striped Dae-ho into the buggy, they began walking to the doctor's office. With every step, an anxiety knotted twisted tighter in his stomach. Taehyung blew onto his cold hands, rubbing it, breathing. His voice had a slight tremor, but from the cold corn smoke shoving his hands jacket pocket. It's not that bad. If Dae-ho can deal with, you can. Taehyung scoffed, shaking his head. Dae-ho has get 3 layers of warm clothes and a blanket. I don't even have a jacket. He tugged at his thin sweater, which did nothing against the biting wind. Kwan clenched. That's your own fault. If you can make sure they're warm, surely you can remember to dress yourself. Them hearts pushing the buggy forward. One side, I get that, but you need to care for yourself. You don't, you might not be strong enough to look. Just remember, your action will impact him. Desperately, he gripped tighter on the buggy. His breath, anxious emotions swelled inside him. You think I don't know that? His voice wept with suppressed anger and hurt. I highly doubt skipping 1 or 2 meals and forgetting a jacket is going to kill me. I know my actions impact him. Do you honestly think I don't? He chest heaved. You think I don't know how it feels to have a parent close choose an addition over you? I know what it's like to never see the people you love. I will be damned if I do that to Dae-ho. His voice broke on the last word, his eyes glittering with emotion. Kwan placed a firm yet gentle hand on Taehyung. Hey, calm down. His tone was steady, reassuring. Your past, Taehyung. I know you wouldn't do that, reminding you to take care of yourself. You are not only there is no reason you should forget these things. He gave a small, encouraging smile. Taehyung just shakily, his gaze dropping. I know, I am sorry. His voice was barely above a whisper. Kwan shook his head. You have nothing to apologize for. I understand why you would think that way. You are stressed. I get that. Now, come on. We will be late. His voice softened even more. Taehyung took a deep breath, nodding. Walking into the doctor's office, Taehyung rubbed in the futile attempt to chase away the goosebumps. A smell of antiseptic filled his nose as he the receptionist desk. Taehyung forced a smile. Hey, my son is here for a checkup. The receptionist, a woman who large lips and a perfectly manicured nails, smiled back while typing, the sound of her nails clicking against the keyboard. What's his name? Taehyung adjusted Dae-ho in his buggy. Kim Dae-ho? The woman nodded. What's his date of birth? Taehyung answered without hesitation. 27th of October, the receptionist, but Taehyung barely noticed the cold draft. Automatic doors sent a fresh chill through him. Receptionist, how old are you? Taehyung hesitated for a second before replying. 17. Receptionist, all right, I am going to ask you to sign this. He pulled out a form from Dae-ho's file. You can read it, but it just says you are okay with the doctor performing any necessary treatments to get Dae-ho back to the health if needed. Taehyung skipped the paper, his mind elsewhere. Do you have a pen I could use? Receptionist, of course. She handed him a pen, her artificial smile unwearing. Taehyung signed quickly, handing it back before tired smile. Receptionist, have a good day. Taehyung lived. You too. His smile was lacked enthusiasm. The waiting for babies, willing parents whispered, and the occasional echoes. Taehyung sighed heavily, scanning the room before spotting Kwan at the back. Taehyung sat beside him, watching his sleeping son. I don't know how he can sleep with this noise, Kwan clenched. I am surprised he is. He slept really well last night. Taehyung leaned back. Did they say about a long wait? Kwan shook his head. No, but I doubt we will get. And smiled. I can hope. Kwan noticed Taehyung's posture. Do you want me to continue? You are. Will you be fine on your own? Taehyung before nodding. Can you come in with me? Just in. They have to do something to him. Kwan give him a reassuring nod. Of course I can. Listen to me, Taehyung. Nothing is going to happen to him. You just signed that because it's a precaution. If something was wrong, we would know. Don't worry yourself, okay? Taehyung bit his lips. All right. Over half an hour later, a nurse finally called. Nurse Kim Dae-ho. Taehyung shot up. His grip tightened on the buggy, pushed it forward, and followed closely behind. Office Dr. Ring greeted them with a warm smile. Doctor, good afternoon. I'm sorry for the wait. Kwan shook his hand. Don't worry about it. The checkup felt like an eternity, but finally Dr. Ring smiled. He is healthy. I will schedule another appointment for next month. Relief folded through Taehyung as he held Dae-ho close. All right, the dread conversation with Dong went exactly as Taehyung feared, begging, pleading, empty promises, things didn't once wanted, but not anymore. Slumping into the car, Taehyung fastened the seatbelt with the Kwan glanced at him. How did it go? Taehyung stared at him. Did everything I didn't want him to do. His was hello. Look, I don't want to talk about it. We just go home. Kwan nodded. Okay, I'm always here if You change your mind. Taehyung spent the night lost in thoughts, only finding solace in Jungkook's voice over the phone. And when he finally closed his eyes, just pull him into a deep sleep. To be continued. Soon you will get to know Taehyung and Jungkook started getting feeling for each other. Hope you will enjoy it, and thanks a lot for loving it and reading it. See you again. Bye bye. Love you. Bye.